Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607, Hickson Desert Hotline. Well, I told you, the Ohio checkbook, I told you what would happen with this. This is a positive thing, very positive thing for Louisiana. That way, the common citizen will find out where every penny goes. And I said there would be people on the left and in the press and would be against this. This is the Ohio checkbook, what they've done in Ohio, where people can find out where all the money's spent. Simple. I mean, this is really easy. $800,000 to get it up and running. On the other hand, we got a LaTrack, and I just want to show you how it works in Louisiana, and this is a shame. We got this LaTrack for you to be able to do this, and it's being implemented now. It's called LA-Track, or LaTrack, Louisiana's LaTrack system. In the Division of Administration, that's where Jay Darden, the great Jay Darden, works. And what's amazing about it is it cost us $126 million to implement. I want you to think about it. Ohio, $800,000. Louisiana, $126 million. Now, was it signed under Bobby Jindal? Yes. But Governor Bill Edwards and them have been implemented. They didn't stop it. They didn't say this was too much. And it doesn't work, not even close to what they did. Matter of fact, if you read Wagaspack, Lobby, and some of these people that look at it, they say it's horrible. And they also say that it's like 80 years old compared to what they're doing in Ohio with the technology. But what did they do? They shot it down. They're shooting it down already. Now, it's going to be a bill implemented. And I already told you if it's shot down, I already showed you the committees once. It'll be shot down in the Senate under John Alario. Okay, but you already had Jay Darden go against it. Jim Beam, who gets all of the instruction from Jay Darden, the co-governor, he's been against it. Now Lanny Keller's against it. So you will see the major news people and media outlets go against it. They don't want you to know where all the money goes in Louisiana. LaTrack, I guarantee you cannot go find what you want to find on LaTrack. $126 million versus $800,000. Now, I don't care what you say. That is horrible to have to spend that much money. Governor Bell would say he likes the idea of more transparency in spending, but he and co-governor Jay Darden noted that the state is a long way from digitally together. In other words, they have some things to do. Another $26 million on the top of $100 million already spent, mostly over the course of former Governor Bobby Jindal's administration. We got to throw that in there, Brian. That way, Jay and Edwards had nothing to do with this, but they defending it. That's what's amazing. Is needed to get state government network, much less local governments and most public colleges in the states, which are now not on LaTrack. Ohio checkbook lets you check where all the money goes. Tell you somebody else who would be against this. Higher ed would be against this. They don't want you to know where all the money goes. School systems are not going to want this. Municipalities are not going to want this. Okay, they're just not going to want it. Nobody. It's not amazing. DOTD ain't going to want this. They're not going to want you to know where all that money's gone all these years and where it's going now. They just not. Once you start seeing that, folks, then you will really hold the governor and the legislature accountable. It's just a fact. But can you imagine that Ohio comes up in this day and time with a program that costs $800,000 to implement? We're $100 million into the $126 million LaTrack, which is not going to do nearly what this other one does. Not even close. Do you hear what I'm saying, Brandon? $126 million versus $800,000. The $800,000 one does way better than the $126 million is going to do. So my question is, with the $120, where did that $126? Let's start with that. I wish we could track the $126 million that we put into LaTrack, and while Ohio spent $800,000, we spent $126 million. Don't you want to know who got that money and why did we spend that kind of money? I do. I think it's a very important thing that we find out where that money has gone to for $126 million. My Lord, we ought to be able to balance the budget and give the state back $120 million. With $120 million, we could put that on roads instead of raising taxes. Which leads me to my next subject, which is, all right, folks, I've read the thing. I read the federal government's deal, Donald Trump's deal. They're looking at a 23 cents road tax. And they're asking the states to put up more money, and Bill Edwards and them wanted 17 cents. Are you willing to pay 40 cents more a gallon to have roads built? Do you think if we got 40 cents more on the gallon from the feds and from Bill Edwards and them road tax, how many of you people think that roads and bridges will be fixed? How many of you people willing to pay the 40 cents more a gallon? When, in all fairness, if we'd have had the Ohio checkbook, we could see exactly where the money's gone for roads. And I tell you what you'll find with roads. Money's gone with roads. First of all, we didn't use the money just for roads. Number two, you'll see it is trying to help the retirement system. You will see salaries go up with the top people. You will see money not making it to the roads. Now, I'm supposed to sit here and agree with Bill Edwards and them 17 cents on the dollar. We're going to now add 17 cents from state government into the road program. Sean Wilson is already out there hollering and crying about more money for roads. Do I think, somebody asked me the other day, man, how do you think we're going to fix the roads? I said, the problem is I don't think we'll fix the roads. I wish I could be convinced that if I added 17 cents a gallon in taxes that the roads were going to be fixed. What is my guarantee? Why should I be jumping up and down? You know what the 17 cent is, huh? The 17 cent road tax is for the governor for re-election to run around with orange cones everywhere to say, look what we're doing, whether they get fixed or not. Because in the road program, what they've done for many, 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 many years is they have a road plan. They start on a road. I heard this from people within DOTD. They start on the road, and then another governor comes in or another elected official leaves and another one sits in its place, and they remove that road for that person because they cut another deal over here on another bill to tell them we're going to fix your roads, and that was the deal they made. We don't fix roads. And worse than not fixing roads is maintaining them. We've had enough tax dollars to maintain a lot of roads in the state of Louisiana. They just weren't maintained, folks, because it was never a priority. In the days of, quote, surpluses in the budget, which is really unheard of, they didn't fix roads. If we would have fixed roads properly the first time and maintained them properly, we would not be in this fix. But since all the roads were done, we built lakes and reservoirs in Delhi, Louisiana. I love Delhi. Great people there. I know a lot of people live in Delhi. They didn't need a lake and a reservoir and all that stuff. Francis Thompson and the Fee and them made all that money on that. John Hilario's golf course down there where they play the Zurich Classic, Brandon, that's over down in his area. That thing loses money every year. But we paid for it. Actually, we helped pay for it, and then we ended up buying it back. We bought it back. We put about $17 million to help pay for it. We got somebody to run it. They ran it into the ground. We bought it. We hired the same people who ran it in the ground. We had unplayed rounds of golf under Mike Foster. They cut a deal. We paid for unplayed rounds of golf at the tune of about $5.5 million. Unplayed rounds of golf, because we promised some entity if they didn't sell so many, we would reimburse them. We did that. We give money to the Saints, the Superdome. We got too many universities, and everybody wants to know what we're doing with our money. Wasting it is what we're doing. We're wasting it. So here's my deal, folks. I'm just curious of you folks out there. And by the way, there'll be engineers, people that do road work get mad at me. I've already seen it. I've had one nut call advertisers get so mad because I don't think we ought to spend another penny on roads till we find out where the money's going to go. Because they going to make their money. They want their ship to come in. We go broke and their ship comes in. My question, are you willing to pay more in road taxes? And how much? 17 cents? 40 cents? 10 cents? Let's take a break. Love to hear from you. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. How much taxes are you willing to pay, folks? And without ever knowing what happened to all the money we had when we fixed roads. You do know when they come up with a road program and they increase taxes. Like the TIME program was supposed to fix X amount of roads. It didn't fix them all. Matter of fact, if you talk to people about the time program, which I think came around in the late 80s, the time program was supposed to fix certain roads, not only, and I get this from within DOTD, not only those roads not fixed, the ones they fixed need to be fixed again, and they don't have money to maintain the roads they fixed. And part of fixing roads is being able to maintain them. Okay? So we go back to the time program where taxes hadn't been raised in 40 years. Why haven't taxes been raised in 40 years? We've raised taxes in the last 40 years, a lot of them, because the money doesn't get to the roads. What have we talked about for 40 years with schools? The money doesn't get to the classroom. People have talked about this a long time. There's no difference here. There's no difference here. So we're supposed to, listening to Sean Wilson and the governor and the people in the press, automatically pass a tax. We don't know if they're going to get the roads or not. We don't. And I think that's what's not fair to the taxpayer. You know, our health care is way up because of Obamacare. Our sales tax is the highest in the country. Even if we get rid of a penny, we fifth highest. So we got high sales taxes. Have you looked at your automobile insurance lately? For most people, not all, most people was higher. I know mine's higher. Okay, with no wrecks, knock on wood. Businesses' liability insurance are higher. I mean, you just start looking at all the stuff that's higher. So now we got to pay more money for road tax. I'm all for fixing roads. Do I think I should have to pay taxes to fix roads? The answer is yes, I do. But if Texas is 20 cents a gallon and we're 20 cents a gallon, okay, then how come they got great roads and we don't? Don't throw in, Moon, they got toll roads. That's fine. It's big cities. They're big cities, way bigger than ours. But throw the toll roads out. They're fixing everything else. You don't have to take a toll road either. You can stay on the main strip. If you stay on the main strip, don't take the toll road. They're nice. How is that? How is the same, a state like Texas, because roads became a priority in Texas, Mississippi, and Arkansas, and these people that got better rates. It's a priority. That's it. They took money they had and they fixed roads. We didn't do that. We didn't even do that with the money we had. But all of a sudden, I'm supposed to say, well, okay, Sean, you're right. I need to give some more money. All this prosperity that Bill Edwards is bringing to us and Jay Darden, I mean, they up in sales taxes. They want to up the income tax. They supported Obama, who upped the tax on, the insurance is just off the charts when it comes to health care. And we're going to prosper when they take our money. I just know, folks, because it's coming. And I got a feeling we're going to have some people giving in before it's over. Just my gut feeling. And you'll see orange cones everywhere. But when it's all said and done, will roads be fixed? That's the question that needs to be asked. Pat in Lake Charles. How you doing, Pat?
Hey, Moon, good morning. This is becoming a real sensitive pet peeve of mine because I don't hear anybody talking about it except John Kennedy. But if they don't do away with NGOs, I'm not for giving them another penny ever. He estimates it's $500 million. Well, nobody even talks about it.
Well, here's the deal. CB started the NGOs. John Kennedy was on it. That is very important. Non-government organizations, hundreds of millions of billions of dollars. We won't talk about that. How about the contracts? John talked about cutting 10% across the board. Jay Darden, the co-governor, took hold of that 2 years ago, and there's been no cuts. He took hold of it, and he doesn't report. Now, Lance Harris was on here, I don't know, a few weeks ago, and he said they're going to ask Jay Darden to update us on these so-called cuts and why he can't cut them. And, of course, Jay Darden hadn't done that yet. They telling us they cut now it's $981 million out of the state budget, which you and I both know that's not true.
No, but this road thing is a carrot. They're going to hang this the same old carrot. It ought to be getting rotten by now. Hang this old carrot out there. So let's give them another little tax thing. They'll fix our roads. How many times have they put that carrot out there for us to jump at?
Well, the last time
you can't trust them. They don't do it.
Yeah, the last time was the time program, and I'm telling you, go down and look at all the roads all those roads that hadn't been fixed, all the roads they did fix that they hadn't maintained, and that's another problem. Fixing and maintaining roads. Maintaining roads is as important as fixing them. You know, you got to be able to maintain them. That's what government money's supposed to go for. Not lakes and reservoirs and golf courses, which, by the way, the things I just named, that's NGOs, non-government organizations. So anyway, we got to go.
I don't have any evidence to back this up, but I'm convinced that they won't touch it because some kind of way it's a way of funneling money back to the politician to get it in his pocket. I don't know how the system works.
Yeah.
If somebody would call and explain it to me, I'd put it on the air.
All right, brother, got to go. Thanks for the call. We'll be jammed on him. For Bill Edwards, he thinks if he can get this, he gets reelected. I think he gets beat either way. But you remember, they're not coming back to the voters and ask you for your opinion. They're going to vote on it in the legislature. And to pass the tax, they got to have 2/3 vote, and they got to be able to pass it in a special session. They can't pass it in a regular session. They got to pass it in a special session. Bill Edwards wants taxes dealt with this year, so next year, which, by the way, 2019 is when we have all the state races. They don't want anything to talk about taxes. They want to be able to let them and, of course, of his buddies in the press now say, we've balanced the budget. We got surpluses now, which really doesn't even make any sense. You raise all these taxes, and then you start acting like you got more money. There's a list. It says LouisianaCheckbook.com of all the people that would like to see this. And there's a list of all these people, Chambers, Associated Builders and Contractors of Louisiana, Lobby, of course, LCA, Louisiana Chemical Association, Lafayette Parish School System, Louisiana Home Builders, Louisiana Manufacturer Association, Oil and Gas Association, LOGA, Louisiana Oil and Gas Association, Louisiana All Marketers, Louisiana's Pulp and Paper Association, Realtors Restaurant Association. Louisiana Realtors Association. So anyway, there's a lot of stuff out there. People that would like to see some chamber, like I said, a bunch of Chamber of Commerce. But when it gets down to it, what will happen in this thing will be shot down, I think, in a Senate committee. Unless this is part of the negotiations that they have. Part of the negotiation, look, we need tax increases. What do y'all want? Because really, that's what they're talking about right now. They are now talking about the deal to be cut. What the Republicans are going to get, what the left is going to get. And the left, of course, being John Bel Edwards and Jay Dart. You ever notice how people like Dart and them claim they're Republicans and conservatives, and they're always negotiating from the left side of the ledger? They claim to be Mr. Conservative, but they're always negotiating on the left side of the ledger. They're never negotiating on the right side. They're never negotiating on the conservative side. They're never negotiating on the less government side. They're always negotiating on the left side of the ledger. They always want more tax dollars and more tax dollars. So when they leave, you can smile at them and say, good job. And it's something that, folks, you better get ready for. A special session starts Monday. A 3-week special session starts Monday. And I told y'all what was going to happen with this Ohio checkbook. I'm going to stick to my guns. Already, Lanny Culler, Jim Beam, Administrator Jay Dart, all not for this. Now, I'll say it again. How can the state of Louisiana spend $126 million on something that doesn't work as good as what Ohio spent $800,000 on? Somebody got some money. I think the caller made a good call a while ago saying he wants to see where some of this money's going before he gives them another penny. And that's why I'm trying to protect the people's money. Do I think we need to fix roads? Yes. Do I think we need to fix roads with tax dollars? Absolutely. Do I think we need to increase taxes to do it? No, not at this point. Donald Trump has came up with an infrastructure deal that he is calling for higher taxes on gas. He's calling for it. I don't agree with him, but he's calling for it. I agree with trying to do something for infrastructure. Remember Obama got $800 billion for infrastructure and nothing was fixed, nothing was done. If Obama that was all money, seed money, seed money for re-elections and politics, and unions. That's what all that money was for. That money never went to infrastructure. Would anybody tell me the great projects that was done by the great Barack Obama? Can anybody tell me what projects do you remember roads being built under Barack Obama? And I'd say you would come up with none. But yet, Congress had that big-time spending bill. Anybody knew what happened to that money? We got a spending bill like that, and he ran up $10 trillion in debt under his watch. $10 trillion. None of that stuff was fixed. We didn't fix roads and bridges. Trump wants to fix roads and bridges because guess what? Obama didn't fix roads and bridges. He didn't get fixed at all. So, anyway, the checkbook thing, I'm just telling you what's coming. If it gets through the House, if it starts in the House and it gets through the House, remember that good bills are killed in committees. Any lobbyist will tell you if they want a bill killed, they have to kill it in the committees most of the time. Anybody that tells you they want a bill passed, it's getting them through those tough committees because what they'll do is they'll take a bill. John Bel Edwards, because Republicans voted for John Alario. Let me say it again. Republicans, all of them voted for John Alario. Go look at some of these judiciary committees. I think I told you it was B. I'm going to have to go back and look. It's A, B, or C, but I think it was B. Why did Republicans vote for Alario? Alario put the people on the committees that helps John Bel Edwards get his liberal agenda through or stop things that are good. And John Alario have a lot to do with where these things fall on a committee. And you kill it in the committees. And that's why I think this thing will be killed. I hope some people that are conservative continue to stick with this, and they bring up this LaTrack that costs $126 million. If I'm a Republican, Lance, I hope y'all listening, I would go find out where the $126 million went for LaTrack. Why did it cost us $126 million? And even Wagaspack of Lobby said that LaTrack is like 80 years old in technology terms, right? And he said that thing they bought was 10 years old already. And if you look at the technology, that's like 80 years old. But that sounds like us. Our healthcare system was an 80-year-old system. So that's my question. Why did we invest in that? Well, why did Jindal invest in that? Where did that money go? Why did Bel Edwards and Jay Darden, the co-governors, why did they keep the system? Because of the they spent $100 million over the last couple of 3 years. And it's not doing what it's supposed to do. All right, phone call. Jay and Boyce. How you doing, Jay? Jay?
Yeah, well, I didn't call. I did not call about this track or whatever it is. But hey, look, 5-10% profit, kickback, whatever, pretty much explains why the project is paid for.
But let me ask you a question, Jay. Why do you think you would pay for a system that's 10 years old with technology changes about every day? So it got to be $126 million. Don't y'all want to know where the money went and why did it cost $126 million? And because of they're telling me now that all the departments are not online, all the departments are not going to be online. It doesn't even include all the departments being on the same page. What kind of dang system did we pay for $126 million?
Well, remember, Louisiana is first in everything that's bad and last in everything that's good. So I guess we just have to pay off people who put up the money to get our legislators and elected people elected.
Well, but I'm just telling you that
that's the bottom line.
When they tell you we don't have enough money to fix roads, and we don't have enough money for education, and we don't have enough money for this, no. If you're going to spend $126 million for something you can't even use properly, that people can't go look at it. And by the way, Lanny Keller shoots it down, Brandon, because it says out of all the people going to look at it, most of the people are people that work in state government, and they're comparing their salaries to other people's salaries. Well, that's kind of a shot down at it, when really that's not what it ought to be about. If people want to do that, that's fine. But the bottom line is you can go look at anybody's salary. You can go look at where they're putting the money at. I think that's a smart thing. This LaTrack thing is just a waste of $126 million in my book.
Yeah, well, how about another waste of money? Us paying for the grass carp to clean up the fish in lakes when we have a hatchery at Woodworth, speed trap capital of the world, that could easily produce those fish.
Yeah.
Somebody is getting paid off to provide those fish to the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries. We have the capacity to produce those fish, but we don't.
Yeah. All right, brother. Well, like I said, we're talking about, you're going to see Sean Wilson and them. They're out there crying about we need more money. We haven't raised the taxes in a long time. But, man, I'm telling you, the big picture says you don't keep giving them money because they don't do what they say they're going to do in the big picture. Folks, if you for the gas tax, I'm all for hearing your reasons why you think we need to pass some more tax. I really am. I don't argue with you. I want to know why you think it's time to pass more gas taxes. Why do you think they ought to be held accountable for what's not being done? Or can they come tell us that, look, this is what we did with the money, and this is what we need to do now? I'm just kind of curious because there's people out there who the governor believes is gas taxes. I know I've been cursed by some of the best people in the building institute that really want taxes so they can have work to do. I understand all that. But there got to be somebody out there that really for the gas taxes besides some elected officials and some bureaucrats. I mean, I just don't run across many people that want the gas tax. I'm not running into them daily. I mean, you know somebody out there? I want to know, without arguing with you, why do you think, I just want to ask you some questions. Why do you think the timing is good now? You know, Sean Wilson tweeted out on Facebook the other day how if we, since they tried to pass the first gas taxes went up. I mean, the gas went up 60 cents. Right, it's still there, look. When you look, Brandon, what I'm doing, I'm pressing that, and that's what's coming up. I don't know why. That's why I was asking you. I'm trying to get to my text messages, and that's what's popping up. You ever see anything like that? Somebody interfered with my telephone.
They're sending a bunch of K's all over the place.
I know. Look,
on your phone. That's
I tell
weird.
you what you do: turn the phone off.
Or I can just do this and it's done.
Okay, what you do?
All right, I simply press the X, man.
Oh, there was an X.
Simply press.
Well, I was trying to do a program and trying to get that at the same time.
There you go.
Okay, so Sean Wilson, who speaks very well, and I think is a knowledgeable guy, you know, he tweets out or gets on Facebook the other day how, you know, gas is up, 60 cents a gallon since they wanted to do it back last year, and that we are getting no benefit for that. We're getting no benefit from it. Well, that's not true. The state's getting plenty benefits from oil prices being up. Number one. Number two, the state makes money off people that when they drive around. You get benefits from it. But once again, Trump's jumping up and talking about a 23-cent gas tax. And I don't know if that's added to the local. All right, let's go to Charlie, West Monroe. How you doing, Charlie?
Hey, Moon, this is my first time talking with you. Charlie Bush, West Monroe.
Yes, sir, Mr. Charlie. How you doing?
I want to talk to you about this gas tax and any tax. What's wrong with this, Moon? Cut all the taxes until they can come up with ways to cut waste. There's too much waste going on. I think the governor has already decided that the only way he could go through there and cut taxes, it would take him 6 weeks to do that. Mm-hmm. Well, why don't they get after it? He's been in there a couple of years. Cut taxes before we cut waste before we talk about taxes.
But Charlie, their mind's
They say
made
it's
up.
dropping the bucket.
I know, but their mind is made up that there is no waste in government. That every proposal and program out there is very important to the state. That it is more important to get
What
more.
about the Republicans?
I know, but it's more important for you to have less and them to have more. That's what they decided. That's what they're telling you. The Republicans in the House and
Well, we
Senate.
got legislators up there. Legislators up there wanting to do some cutting. Why don't they spearhead that movement?
Well,
That's what we elected them for, right?
They have been there. They have been spearheading the movement, but we have some Republican sellouts. Number two, the Senate voted for John Alario to be the kingmaker, and so you got Democrats in the Senate and enough Republicans to control everything they want to control, and those are big government Republicans. That's who they are. They believe the same thing.
We got some gutless wonders up there afraid to commit. So why don't they go on the record? Come on your show. Tell them we want to cut waste. I know they say it's a drop in the bucket, but that's our drop.
Well,
There's too much waste going on nationally.
Well, some of them do, and we just don't have enough votes, especially down in Baton Rouge. Like I said, one side of the Senate is totally controlled by John Alario, who literally owns most of the Republicans and all the Democrats. When I say own them, he owns them. They can't do nothing without him.
Well, why don't let's kick him out? The Republicans control it. Why don't they get a new one in there?
But Charlie, you sound like me.
West Monroe legislator.
But you sound like me.
I am like you.
Charlie, you sound like me in the fact that the Republicans never had to put John Alario in that position. They did it with Bobby Jindal, and they came right back and did it with Bill Edwards. And Bill Edwards, John Alario got to do is snap his finger or whistle, and they do what he says. Not all of them, but enough of them.
Here's another thing. What about this, Moon? All these legislators, I'm talking state and national, they get all types of perks. Why don't we find out what these perks are? Do they get different health care than we do? I'm sure they do. We don't know about it, though, do we?
Well, the ones in Washington that are in the health care system provided by the government, they get subsidized, what was it, Brandon, 60% or 80%? They get a gigantic subsidy for their health insurance. I don't get that. I don't get what they get. They get subsidized on their health insurance. So, anyway.
Well, that's not fair to us. They're our public servants, not the other way around.
Well, what happens, too, is for some reason, people get elected by the people, and then when they get there, they decide they're going to represent government. I don't understand that. So, anyway, got to go, Charlie. Thanks, man. God bless. We appreciate it. We've got to take a break. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. We'll take a break. Be right back. More to come. Your calls is welcome, always. We'll be right back. Hi, hello. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. Federal courts ordered DACA to continue as Senate debates fate of the dreamers. You know, federal courts are something else. That's why it matters who gets elected president. Obama put people in there. Clinton put people in there. Even some of the Republicans put people in there. And, folks, illegals are illegals, period. And then open up the borders, let people pour across the borders. Just come legally. That ain't hate. I know the left is, oh, just hate. I don't want anybody that don't look like y'all, which is stupid. That ain't true. Come legally. There's a legal way to come in the United States of America, and we've blown that to pieces for a long time. And it's just frustrating. It's just very frustrating to watch this battle with illegals we're talking about. People that think they belong here. And this the thing about it is, some of them really want to come over here and assimilate and thank God they're in the United States of America, and some of them don't. Some of them are here to start trouble. Some of them, they're coming from hellhole countries. Yeah, I said it, hellhole countries, because they are. Why are they leaving? Because they're hellhole countries. How many people are leaving these countries because they're leaving prosperity to come to a place where they don't know if they're going to have a good life or not? I mean, these people are leaving hellholes. They're not, and that's what's so sad. I don't blame somebody trying to get in this country compared to where they're coming from. Nope. That's a big business, too. Do you blame somebody for trying to get out of them hellhole countries? And they are. Why don't we have a lot of people from the United States trying to get to these other countries? Why aren't we going, boy, I tell you what, I'm moving to Venezuela. I want a better life. I'm moving to Iran. I'm going to Mexico. That's where I'm going to live. I'm going to live a better life over there. That country's great. They're not, are they? Well, then you ought to have a country. Brandon, I don't know what's going on with this thing over here, but it goes off about every 5 seconds. So you may have to write them down for me. It's back up now for some reason. I don't understand that. So the federal courts keep ruling against us protecting our country. I love what Trump said. Americans are dreamers too. We are. And all these people coming over are not dreamers. Some of them taking advantage of the system. All we're asking is do it legally. Democrats want it for voters. They need as many underprivileged people as they get. They know they got one sector underprivileged people, they need another sector. And then they'll go vote for Democrats who will take from the people who are the real producers of this country, which, by the way, real producers are black and all white. They're Hispanic, they're whatever. It's just continue to watch this and get so frustrated to watch what they've done. By the way, I'm just going to ask a question. How many of you, and this is just me, I tell you the biggest disappointment since President Trump took over. Brian, this is a great one for y'all. Biggest disappointment since Trump took over to me, and I'm going to tell you, I was a big supporter of him, Attorney General Jeff Sessions. To me, the biggest disappointment, I used to think he was not such a swamp guy. I used to think he was not nowhere near a swamp guy. I used to think he was going to be the fighter for us. I really did. When Sessions got appointed Attorney General, I was so excited. But we find out he's not like the Obama appointees for Attorney General, who were always one-sided for Obama, who had his back, who went after Tea Party people, defended the voter deal where they had the Black Panthers or whatever, let them go. Jeff Sessions, to me, is by far the biggest disappointment that I've seen so far, what I thought he would do versus what he's done. He's done nothing. Very little. How many of you people feel that way? I feel like Sessions is the biggest letdown. All this stuff's going on. All this stuff with Hillary Clinton and Obama and the DOJ and the FBI. Jeff Sessions is the one guy who can bring this down. He does nothing. Why don't he resign and let Gowdy become the next Attorney General? Or Cruz, or somebody that would go get after it. Gowdy's getting the heck out of Dodge. He's had enough of D.C. Jeff Sessions, I don't care what anybody says, that Attorney General has been the biggest disappointment for going find out all the truth, all this Mueller investigation, all this crazy Russia crap that's out there. Why doesn't Sessions get involved? Well, he said he recused himself. The heck with that. Look what's going on. Look what's broke since. I mean, just I'm telling y'all, and look, I wasn't an original Trumpster. I tell this to Brandon all the time. I wasn't. I like Trump more as a president than I did as a candidate coming into the office. I think he's got a lot of guts to go against the swamp. Sessions doesn't. Sessions doesn't go against the swamp at all. We got some criminal stuff going on. If you're watching any of this stuff with Hillary and Obama and Loretta Lynch, I mean, you go on and on and on with all the stuff they doing and deal with the FBI and the IRS and all that. We don't do nothing to them, and that's Jeff Sessions, though, sitting on the side, Jeff. Jeff Sessions, the sideline man. Jeff Sessions looks like he's on the sideline cheering the team to swamp. We got the Swamp Rats playing, and Jeff Sessions on the sideline cheering them on like a cheerleader. Go on, man. Y'all keep doing what you've been doing. He's not even in the game. He's not even engaged. Sessions is not engaged with what's all going on around him. I don't understand that. The American people want justice. We're watching what they're doing to Trump, which makes no sense. There's no collusion. But Russia changed the outcome. Like, oh, that's crazy talk. And if you go read and follow some of the stuff that's out there that has, the swamp is unbelievable. Oh, my God. Yeah, it's just incredible. So it's just me. I think Sessions has become a sideline cheerleader for the swamp. And that, my friend, is sad. I don't know about y'all. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. He was the guy I really thought would just, all he's got to do is do what's right. All he's got to do is do what's right. And the things that will happen and things we will find out will be phenomenal. We've been listening to Russian collusion over a year now. Nothing, no facts, no information on that, nothing. Incredible. All right, Lewis in Orville. How you doing, Lewis?
Yeah, I'm doing fine, Moon. I had called last week. Remember Lakes and Reservoirs?
Yeah.
All right. But two comments, because you just brought up the swamp and whatnot. Iceland had the same financial bubble that we had back in, I think it was 08 or 10. And the difference is they let the banks fail. And what they did is they put the CEOs of those banks in jail. Mm-hmm. And now they're doing great as far as Iceland's economy, as far as the bankers are concerned.
Wow.
The other comment I would like to make is about the immigration. Like you said, you don't have a problem with people coming here legally, and because they basically they want the same things we want. A roof over our head and our children fed.
Yep.
If you really want to stop the immigration, or shall I say the illegal immigration problem, don't go after the immigrants. Go after the people who's employing them. Because, number one, they're not paying those people a fair wage or a decent wage. So, that's right there as a human rights issue. Also, not to mention, it's tax evasion.
Yep.
Because they're not paying taxes on those people. So, if you really want to stop the immigration issue, go after the people that's hiring them. And not to mention, it's easier to go after the people that's hiring them. Simple as that.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
No, I think everything you said is on the money. But once again, that's the swamp. You got to remember, Chamber of Commerce and all that is for all this DACA and immigration reform in the wrong way too, because they know businesses get away with cheap labor. If you really, you know what though? I had somebody point this out. If you go back to the slave days and you go all the way to the day, there's a great comparison. Americans want cheap labor. And when you go back to the slave days, it was cheap labor. What are we fighting for? We're fighting for the same thing again. We're fighting over the same thing again.
Pretty much.
And if you do a comparison, it's a lot to do with cheap labor. And business people want the cheap labor, and that's why some chamber types, they want it too. They don't look at the big picture like elections and the Democrats getting all these people to go register as Democrat because they're going to try to give away more than they can, and they'll dominate. And one day they'll be on top of those businesses taking more money from them. They don't look at it that way.
That's another issue as well. The Democrats and the Republicans are basically the same party. We need a third party. This is how I see it. They both support the same programs. It's just that the Democrats more or less tax you for to support those programs, and the Republicans borrow money from let's say, China.
Yeah.
So, like I said, they both support the same programs. They have different ways of paying for them. We need a third party, and we need to get rid of the Democrats and the Republicans.
Yeah, I think that's why Trump's the president, because of Democrats and Republicans. And that's why I'm telling you, Jeff Sessions has totally disappointed me. I am so outdone with his lack of wanting to go by the law and take down some of these people who need to be taken down. Most of them on the left, but he's got to do something. He can't sit back there and watch it from the sidelines and be the cheerleader. Got to go. Thanks for the call. Getting back on the dope. They're going to eventually legalize everything, folks. It's just the way it's our society now. Things that we thought were bad now are okay. And we play games. Y'all remember the gambling arguments when we didn't have gambling? You realize our Constitution, and you could pull it up if you want, Brandon. Our Constitution, pull it up on gambling. It said we should suppress gambling at every chance. We should never have gambling, in other words, suppress it. Gambling has come and gone in the state of Louisiana for a long time. We usually get it, we kick it out. We get it, we kick it out. You know what the legislature did to get gambling here? They call it gaming. Gambling's illegal in the state of Louisiana. Although, when I read the articles recently about Ronnie John and the gambling industry want to expand gambling in this state. And by the way, they want to expand gambling in the state. They always do when they don't have any money, because one of the things they're going to do, they're going to say, if we can expand our riverboat. See, it was only supposed to be 15 riverboats. Edwards went to jail because of it. And they're going to expand it as land-based casinos, figuring they're going to get even more people to come in. And they're going to tell you how much tax revenue you're going to get. Why in the world do we want to expand something that's illegal? Well, it's no different than expanding dope. They say no different than expanding dope because people want to go out and smoke reefers. They want to smoke marijuana. They want to get high with it. So, do I think we'll win the argument long run? No, I don't. And by the way, I'm not talking about the medical side. That's a whole different ballgame to me. So we're going to legalize it and we're going to tax it. And they're going to say, just like they're doing with the gambling, but just as we cut those taxes down. Well, have taxes gone down since gambling came in our state, which, by the way, was illegal until they said it was gaming? And when it went to the Supreme Court, they said, well, if the legislature says it's not gambling and it's gaming, then we got to go with the legislature. All to fool you and me. By the way, I don't care if you gamble. I think it's a poor way to run an economy. But to some people, they think it's great and it's good, and go for it. I have no problem. It's good if you want to do that. But I'm just telling you that the expansion of gambling was always coming around the corner. All they got to do is get their head in. So now Ronnie Johns is running. He'll be the guy making the big bucks. Senator Johns, he'll be the guy, and whoever else wants to expand it. We ain't expanding gambling in 20-some years. We hadn't raised the gas tax in 30-some years. What we hadn't done in 20, 30 years, let's do more of it. But my question is, what has it led to? We raised the taxes on for roads. We don't fix roads. We raised all this gambling up. It didn't solve one problem. And this won't either. I just want you to be aware of what's coming. John in Bossier City. How you doing, John?
Hey, how are you doing?
Doing fine.
A couple of things, I agree with you what you're saying on the marijuana. I would like to say this, and I know you're in agreement on medical marijuana. You said it several times, but if anybody has ever had a family member that's had cancer and seen what they've gone through, they would vote in medical marijuana yesterday.
No, that's why I said, first of all, let me just be blunt, and I've said this too. I don't know enough about it. I would talk to doctors and people in the medical profession. Those people know. They have a way better idea than you or me. But I just understand what some people are saying. So I'm just saying I'm not touching that. But talk to the peoples and the people and the experts, and they can probably give you a better direct on. That's why I'm saying the medical marijuana I kind of understand. But I do think once the medical marijuana is here, that there's always been a group of people out there wanting to legalize marijuana. Always. And I think there are people on my side of the scale want to legalize every one of the dopes, every dope out there, because they think it'll get rid of the black market.
Well, there's a good argument for that. But I wanted to bring one other point. It's on DACA and the illegal immigrants. And this isn't talked about a lot. It's my understanding, I heard someone talking about it on the radio, that annually we allow 1 million or 1.5 million immigrants in legally. And they could settle this by just holding that up, putting that on hold. I mean, a hard decision has to be made, but if they would do that, hold it up for 2 years, that would take care of all these DACA kids, and then you pick it up after that.
You do realize that there was a period in this country, I don't know if it was 40, 50 years, where we just didn't let anybody come over here. You just didn't know. I forget the years. I need to go look it up. But that we had a bunch of years where we didn't, and I want to say it was after World War I or World War II. We said, okay, nobody's coming. Why? We didn't know who was coming. We didn't know who was coming and going. We didn't know who didn't like this country. Well, we like that now. I don't know, and you don't know who's coming in this country that want to do bodily harm. We don't know.
Right.
So why don't we stop everybody from coming across and get a grip on what we have? And one of the things we need to do is build a wall. Just get a grip on it so we'll know who's here and who doesn't belong here. And I'm tired of watching illegals do bodily harm, hurting people, rape and stuff like that. By the way, it's not all of them, but there's too much of that going on. We got to let's find out who wants. If somebody says I'm for Sharia law in this country and they pushing that, they ought to be escorted out of this country immediately, because that means you're not assimilating to who we are. A Sharia law.
What is going to happen?
Huh?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I said Sharia law treats people like dogs.
I agree. And this is what concerns me. You know, you stated earlier that the reason the Democrats are fighting so hard for this is because they want to stay in power and they want to increase their voting base. What is going to happen when people of that religious faith, of that majority that believe in government handouts, when they become the majority of the voting population? What's going to happen? We don't have a say.
If they get the voting population in communities, then cities, then states, you got a problem. But I'm telling you, if somebody's for Sharia law, it does not line up with our country, does not line up with our laws, and it treats women and kids less than dogs. Less than dogs. I agree. Yeah. All right,
and
brother.
They're going to use our laws against us because they will become the majority voting.
Yeah, they're using them against us because of the Democrats. Bottom line. Anyway, got to go. Thanks for the call. We got a 22-hour break. See you tomorrow.